For years, here in Oxford, a gang of men subjected girls as young as 11 to appalling abuse, approaching them on the city's Cowley Road, getting them addicted to drink and drugs. In this sadistic business, victims were bought and sold, trafficked around the country. And we now know, for years, police, social workers and others missed opportunities to protect them.
How do you get around?
One of the 7 men convicted, Akhtar Doga, was arrested twice on suspicion of rape or sexual assault after complaints by 2 of the girls. That was 2006. His brother Anjem and another of the defendants were also arrested that year on similar charges. Each time the victims felt unable to continue and the cases were dropped.
That wasn't me.
One of the victims says her mother asked for support repeatedly from social workers, schools and police, but no one would help get to the root of the problem.
It's just scary now to think that she was alone doing that and the people that were supposed to be helping wouldn't help her. But she never gave up, and that's why I'm still here now.
So where were the missed opportunities? All 6 of the victims in this case were known to social workers. 5 spent time in care. All of the girls ran away, but one was reported missing to the police 126 times in 15 months. In addition to the 3 arrests that led nowhere, the Crown Prosecution Service is reviewing 3 other cases that weren't proceeded with, and all of the authorities have apologised for their failings.
It wasn't that we didn't try. I think what we were doing was responding case by case, and it wasn't until the end of 2010, into 2011, when we started to join up the dots and see the bigger picture.
Now in Oxford, police and social workers work together to try to prevent street exploitation, but the local MP says it's important to know why action wasn't taken sooner.
I don't think that any of us can easily understand how such widespread and serious abuse has been going on for so long in our community and no one reported it, no one acted on it.
It's now the job of a serious case review to examine why the girls were failed for so many years. Alison Holt, BBC News.
Incredibly sorry that we weren't able to stop this abuse any sooner. Really, our hearts go out to the girls who've been incredibly brave in giving the evidence. We have learnt a tremendous amount in recent years, and we have been taking a huge amount of action since this operation started. Our social workers working alongside the police the last 2 years in actually bringing this case.
Let's get to the words of the mother that I mentioned, who said, she said she'd approached every conceivable Oxford service and doors were slammed in her face. This wasn't a vulnerable girl or a drunken woman or a drug addict. It was a mother seeking help for her daughter because she suspected this was happening.
And I think we tried to support these children and families. Clearly we did not do enough. We are very sorry for that. We have learnt a lot. And
does that astonish you, though, that she went to every conceivable service, I'm quoting her words now, and doors were slammed in her face?
These are really tricky, difficult situations. What we understand now is much more about the grooming process. We didn't understand that going back 7 or 8 years ago.
But she understood it, and she was coming to seek help. I mean,
and all I can do is apologise if we didn't listen enough, if we didn't do enough. We absolutely are doing huge amounts more now. There are clearly very big issues in supporting the whole families in this. It's about the children, it's also about parents. One of the things that we're trying to do is to raise awareness right across the community.
You've been in charge at Oxfordshire County Services since 2005. Do you take responsibility for what has happened on your watch?
All of us take enormous responsibility for what's happened. This is the worst thing I've come across in 30 years in local government.
If families are sitting at home tonight and feel that your organisation and you have seriously let down these girls being raped and trafficked and sold and drugged under your watch, they were vulnerable girls and you were at the heart of those social services, should you resign?
I have asked myself some very hard questions about that. There is going to be an independent, serious case review which will look at the actions of all the agencies concerned.
But what's your gut feeling telling you?
My gut feeling is that I'm not going to resign because my determination is that we need to do all that we can to take action to stamp this out.
And if the families put that to you and said, we don't feel confident with you in charge of the services that are meant to be supporting our children, would you rethink that?
Clearly, we are talking to all the families concerned. What we are doing now, which is really important, is trying to make sure that we tackle this for the future. We have a joint unit with the police. We have trained 2,500 staff across Oxfordshire. We're raising awareness for 12,000 school children. We need to take the action to stamp this out. These are devious crimes. They're very complicated. We're absolutely determined, all of us, and I'm completely determined, that we do all that we absolutely can to stop this happening for the future.